I don't know if you guys love it. I love Survivor Series.
It's the best one.
Survivor Series and Royal Rumble
Mhm.
are my two favorite pay-per-views. Royal Rumble because I don't know what's gonna happen. That's the one time of the year I don't know what's gonna happen with the win. And Survivor Series because it reminds me of the old days, right? Where it was brand versus brand, and it felt real. It felt like SmackDown was its own company, Raw was its own company, and going into Survivor Series, you'd have favorites. Like, I want SmackDown to win, I want Raw to win, I want this guy to go over, whatever it was. So it feels like that now. Even I don't know if you guys saw SmackDown this week, everyone coming together on SmackDown, just having a massive brawl. It felt great, like, seeing everyone in the same building. It's been a bit watered down now because you see every person on every brand pretty much, which is ugly. You don't want that. You want it to be separate, like, don't come here, whatever. But for me, I'm excited. I'm excited for Survivor Series. What do you guys think?
I love Survivor Series. I think it's the most underrated pay-per-view of the year, every year. And the only thing I agree with you, like, having the different teams and seeing them show up on each other's show, it's exciting because it's a break from the norm. But the draft was very recent, and looking at, I don't know, the Street Profits wearing Raw shirts when they were on NXT a month ago. I can't.
It's not doesn't feel genuine.
It does. I mean, how can they be so passionate about their brand when they were on the other brand a few months ago? You know what I mean? The timing was a little off, but match quality, the card, everything is. I hope that the pay-per-view, I hope, makes up for the build. And I think that the only reason the build is a little weird is it's very all over the place. I don't even think the card is very finalized yet. And the fact that the draft was just so recent that it's like it's going to be weird. But I think the match quality should make up for that.
Yeah, WWE have a history of not handling a lot of things well at the same time. They're very good at one thing, but when you give them a lot, they tend to sort of not give everyone the right amount of attention. Sorry, Solo, what were you going to say?
No, just bro, I'm the same. Survivor Series is probably my favourite, man. Just look at the history of Survivor Series. So many things have happened in the past. Taker's debut, the Montreal Screwjob,
Elimination Chamber,
freaking
NXT losing to John Cena. Do you remember that?
Nexus? Nexus. No, that was
SummerSlam.
Oh, SummerSlam?
I believe that was. It doesn't make sense because it's a Survivor Series.
That was
type
Wade
match.
Barrett.
Yeah.
That was the Wade
That was the way Barrett when they should have won, they didn't win.
That's right. Yeah.
Dolph Sting coming.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, that was really good.
Bro, even the title matches in recent years have been awesome. The ones with Brian and AJ.
Yeah.
Man, like, it's always, for some reason, it's like you said, it's the most underrated one, but it always delivers.
Yeah.
Always delivers.
For the most part. Yeah.
For the most part. But this year's build has been so weird, like you said.
It's so strange.
The timing's weird. A lot of matches on there I don't understand. They haven't even been built up properly. Like, I feel like there's a weird sense of like you don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I'm not sure. Is something big gonna happen? It's in Chicago. Is Punk coming back?
I was gonna say I can't even like fantasy book Punk back into this because like, where does he go? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so all over the place. That it's been confusing. It's been a confusing build, but yeah, I have faith that the actual performers are gonna make up for whatever confusing storylines have led up to it. Hopefully, we'll see.
Hopefully, let's get into the matches. I know we have some interesting thoughts about the championship matches. Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio, no holds barred match for the title. What do you guys think?
I said it, man. Like, I don't get it. Like,
doesn't make sense, eh?
Like, I know the whole Cain Velasquez and all that, like that kind of story built up, but the actual match itself hasn't been a proper build up, to be honest. Like
why should we care? Right?
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like,
he nearly murdered his son.
No, but like, again, they haven't. Again, he got randomly attacked. Like, his son got randomly attacked again. Like, it was so weird.
It feels very thrown together. I'll give it
that's
that.
my point.
And also, where did the storyline go? I don't even think they mentioned it this week on Raw, SmackDown. It was so weird.
I didn't see it.
I had a flick through Raw today, this week, but didn't see anything mentioned on SmackDown. Oh well, yeah. That are they on Raw or SmackDown? You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard.
Yeah, he left SmackDown and then he's
on Raw now. That's right. He's on Raw.
He's on Raw. Yeah.
So,
but he'll leave Raw after this.
Yeah, we'll go to NXT.
Who knows? Brock does.
What a storyline.
Brock does what he wants. Oh my god!
I said it to you guys earlier. I felt like it was just it was thrown together, just willy nilly, pretty much. They had Rollins as the champion, you know, on Raw. Had the draft, the Fiend, you know, beat Seth Rollins, and now suddenly, oh crap, we have Survivor Series. We're gonna do a triple threat between the champions, but we can't have the Fiend versus Brock Lesnar versus Adam Cole. Doesn't make sense.
It's a
right?
mismatch.
Yeah. So let's just put them in the own matches. Hey Bray, why don't you call out, you know, Brian? Just heck, you know, remember what he did to you ages ago? Yeah, call him out on that, have a match with that. And Brock, yeah, just Rey Mysterio, yeah, have a match with Rey Mysterio, see how that goes.
But even that's diminished some of, like, you look at the 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, bro. Daniel Bryan can't be in it.
Yeah.
AJ can't be in it. Shinsuke can't be in it.
Yeah.
Like you said,
it's a bit of
Ray can't be in it. Like, there's a bro. Shorty G's in SmackDown. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, not for that doesn't make sense.
But you said about the match, maybe it's leading to something else. Something's gonna happen.
I think the 2 world title matches are gonna be more storyline driven.
Yeah.
I don't think they're like Ray versus Brock for the WWE and Fiend versus Bryan. I think you mentioned Zach something about you're not sure about Bryan, like where is that at the moment
as a character.
Yeah, as a
feels
character.
lost,
and he does feel lost. He kind of feels like a tweener, like he's not really heel, he's not really face. He's not doing the whole yes shtick
He's
anymore,
not going back to it, no.
but he's also not doing the crazy vegan psycho shtick either. So where is he? I think maybe we find out through this match. You know, and again, they're probably going to use the red lights with the Fiend, and it's going to be more storyline driven than an actual, you know, classic wrestling clinic. You know what I mean?
Isn't it funny we're talking about, like, we don't know where a lot of things are going in WWE.
Yeah.
But when we usually know, we're like, oh, this is
predictable,
stale, man.
predictable,
it's predictable, man.
Yeah.
Now they're kind of trying to be unpredictable, and I'm still complaining.
No, but I think there's unpredictable. There's like method. What's the thing? It's chaotic order, right? Where there's chaos. We don't know what's gonna happen, but there's order to what's happening. Brock Lesnar, Rey Mysterio doesn't make sense, right? So we don't know what's happening, but because it doesn't make sense, bro. That's why we're sitting here saying, well, how does this lead to what? You know, we're talking about the Fiend and Danny. I think what you're saying is right, yeah. But I've learned from history not to give WWE that much credit. Definitely. In terms of storylines. This is what they're doing, or watch this and watch that. I feel like this is just 2 literally rubber matches where they're like, look, we have to use them for something. Yeah, chuck them to. Let's just see what happens.
Maybe it's just an attraction. Like, Rey Mysterio is a household name. He is. And Brock Lesnar is a household name.
Oh, look, it's going to be David versus Goliath.
Yeah.
We know he's not going to win, but look, maybe something happens.
There's going to be a period where he's going to get on top of him. You're like, oh, is he going to win?
Yeah.
Nah.
They did that. And it follows the theme of Survivor Series. Survivor Series last year, him and Bryan, big guy, little guy. Ooh, can he do it? The year before, AJ, little guy, big
Same
guy.
Thing.
It's 3 years in a row. But I will say
the year before that, when Goldberg just like that one.
Yeah. I think even Punk and Lesnar had a thing. The same thing happened. Punk got dominated.
Yeah, that's right. And look, Brock has proven his greatest matches are against little guys.
That's true.
They're brilliant. That's very true. Every year, my match of the year last year, WWE match of the year, was him and Bryan. It was brilliant.
It was.
So I kind of have high hopes for it. But again, I think they're just going to use it as a way to steer it into the next storyline. I reckon Velasquez is coming back and he's going to be somehow... Ray is just a stepping stone.
To be honest, personally, I hope Dominic comes out, bro.
Yeah.
Starts bashing Brock.
He's been training.
That's what I'm saying.
He's been training. I don't know. I don't know if he's signed.
Bro, what are you laughing about, bro?
Oh my god! Every time
belting from Brock Lesnar twice and not be training.
Yeah.
Every time you mention Dominic, I just remember Eddie Guerrero. Yep. Do you remember the whole Eddie Guerrero thing? Dominic's my son.
I'm your puppy.
I'm your puppy. That's all I remember.
Classic.
Dominic.
Classic.
You were saying before you think Cain Velasquez turns heel?
I was just thinking out loud, and Velasquez hasn't been well received because it feels like, who is this guy? What's the go? Why should I want him to beat Brock Lesnar? Brock Lesnar's been built up like no other wrestler has ever since he came back in 2012. I think there's been one straight up clean win on him. That was Rollins at SummerSlam this year. So this guy comes out of nowhere. Who are you?
He beat Brock
What-
10 years
why-
ago.
You beat Brock 10
And
years
I'm
ago.
supposed to remember that.
But why?
Yeah.
Why,
I do.
why is the WWE? Why are the WWE fans supposed to care? And I think the most effective thing to do, it's kind of my solution for everything, is turn him heel. And then see what happens. See how
So-
because I think he would get genuine heat from the crowd. I think people will actually dislike him.
I don't know if he can talk, but like, can he like?
Man,
is he a
maybe,
good
yeah,
talker?
maybe
Or
get some
is he
mouthpiece.
good
Yeah,
talker?
pair him up with he's got a face you can dislike
Yeah,
very easily.
He's
You
got
know what I
a-
mean?
yeah, he
You
doesn't
can
have
dislike
a-
this guy very easily.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to ask your predictions. Brock Lesnar, champ, he still
Surely.
retains the
Brock
title.
wins.
Surely.
All right, sweet. Now moving on to the next one, we have the women's, pretty much the women's title match. If I can put it that
Triple
way,
The
triple threat.
yeah.
Becky Lynch versus Bailey versus Shayna.
Yep.
What do you guys think?
Interesting. I think sometimes the obvious choice is the choice that is just like, which one would be the swerve? And I think the swerve is Becky. Sorry, Becky. Bailey. My bad.
Yeah, Bailey.
Bailey is like, you know, Shayna's cool. She's got that like MMA background. She's friends with Ronda Rousey, which they always love to remind you. And Becky is Becky. Becky is the most successful character-driven, the character-driven female wrestler in maybe ever, possibly ever. She's in the conversation, that's for sure. So she doesn't need the win. I don't think Shayna needs the win. Bailey, in order to rejuvenate this character, this new character they've carved out for her, I think she needs to steal it, and I think it has to be her pinning Becky.
It's big.
Because her beating Shayna is like, you know, she pinned the developmental chick. It doesn't really count.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
That's my thoughts.
Just going on that point about Bailey, her turning heel, turning into like a whinger. She's just complaining about everything.
Yeah.
Like, why would they just dump that character and get her to lose the match? You know what I mean?
they've done it before.
Yeah, they've done it before, yeah. But again, Becky wouldn't lose anything wouldn't lose out if she lost. Shayna's still going to be, you know, a beast in NXT. But yeah, Bailey, like I said, for her character, she needs to win, or I've got no hope for Bailey after this.
Moving on, this match is one that again reminds me of the old days. Triple threat tag team match. I remember playing SmackDown 2, you know, playing SmackDown, and here comes the pain and putting this match on. And just literally going nuts, you know. It was just what I loved about it was especially the tornado tag. Best thing I've played.
Yeah.
Triple threat tag team match. We have the Viking Raiders versus the New Day versus the Undisputed Era. What do you guys think?
Potential match of the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, bro,
Solid guys, all of them.
yeah, man, because the 5-on-5s, you don't know what's going to happen. It's really usually storyline based. Someone might come out. You don't know what's going to happen.
Is there going to be 3 men in the ring at the same time?
No, I'm not sure.
I hope so. I don't
hope
like
so
these two and the two
And
guys
then
waiting
someone
outside.
tags out. Yeah,
I hate
it's a
that.
weird
It's
one.
ugly.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, even if it is 2-on-2, this is going to.
It'll be a tornado.
It's going to
tag.
eventually become chaotic.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it'll be a
everyone's
tornado,
Everyone's
yeah.
going to be in there at the same time at some point, and then you're going to
Yeah.
get confused as to who the legal
And
man
the
is.
ref's not going to do anything about
Yeah,
it, and he's going to let
exactly.
him go.
It's an indie match. You've got the Viking Raiders, both from New Japan, ROH. You've got Red Dragon or Undisputed Era, ROH veterans as well.
Yeah.
And you got New Day, who I feel really bad for Kofi Kingston, man, because
Yeah.
he's just been slotted right back into that mid card and not treated like a former. It's crazy to think that he was a WWE champion for 6 months.
It's like he never was.
It's just right back there, and it sucks, but I want to see him shine. And New Day's 7-time champs. They're brilliant. I think it'll be a great match.
Yeah,
I really don't know who wins though.
No, I don't either, but
I don't, yeah.
I can guarantee it's going to be a really good match. Like, I wouldn't be skipping this one.
I would say Viking Raiders just because they need it.
I'll go New Day. I think they're going to go, we'll feel bad for Kofi. We'll give him the win. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think looking at the card, this is one match you can give to the NXT. You know what I mean? You're looking at like brand versus brand. At the end, they're going to look at it, right?
Yeah.
Which brand won or whatever.
Yeah.
I think this match they give to the Undisputed Era. They say, look, NXT, this is you get this one. I don't know. All right, 5-on-5 women's Survivor Series triple threat elimination match. We have Charlotte Flair, Natalia, Asuka, Kairi, and Sarah Logan versus Team SmackDown. Sasha Brooks, Carmella, Dana, Lacey, Nikki Cross versus Team NXT, which hasn't been decided yet.
That's right.
Which is odd because the pay-per-view is in 2 days.
No,
It's
because
weird.
of Takeover, I think.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Again, going back to how this pay per view feels very thrown together. It's so confusing and cluttered. But I guess that could be a moment in itself. In who is the team. And
Yeah,
when
the
they-
anticipation of it.
Yeah, and when they come out, it's like, oh, cool, this person's there, that person's there. Same thing with the men's. I believe the men's team
They haven't announced the team
hasn't been
NXT
announced
yet.
either.
No, it hasn't.
So there's anticipation there, like there could be a surprise. Maybe there could be a return somewhere. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
know. Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah.
This isn't done this isn't done on purpose, right? It's not done with mystery in mind. They just did it because it's poor planning.
It feels that way.
Yeah.
It feels that way. Yeah.
I think you got to take into account Takeover, but I think maybe that's a part of it.
Possibly.
Like they've already got people versing on the War Games. There might be teammates the next night. You know, it's a weird one. Like
It is.
to announce that they're going to be teammates the next night,
Mm.
but they're going to bash the hell out of each other in a
Yeah.
cage.
So
the
why
day
have it?
before.
Why have it so close to each other? Why have Takeover the day before? So
Takeover's always the day
That's
before.
yeah,
a big,
it's
big,
always.
Yeah.
That's the way they've planned it out. However, I did see a report saying that the Takeover that was scheduled the night before the Rumble it's not set for that date.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
maybe
So
they're
why
Maybe
not?
they shouldn't
Maybe
have. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
they're changing things up because it's the main roster.
That's
now.
the main roster.
Yeah.
So why would
So-
they have a takeover?
Yeah. So maybe that the format of Takeover changes, and I'm a bit worried about that because honestly,
That's the best thing
the
they've got.
best thing about NXT is takeovers have been consistently brilliant.
Who you guys got?
Maybe NXT wins this.
I
Just the anticipation, because Team Raw and SmackDown aren't strong. They don't look strong.
think, yeah, as I said, there's only been on the main roster, if that's what you want to call Raw and SmackDown, the only breakouts of this women's revolution, the ones that are undeniable, are the 4 horsewomen.
Yeah.
Everyone else is kind of like, what was that list? What, Dana Brooks in there? Who else you got?
Dana Brooke,
Dana Brooke.
Natalia,
Yep.
what do you call it? Carmella.
Yeah,
Nikki
jobbers.
Cross.
Yeah, jobbers.
Yeah, you know what I
Right,
mean. Like
yeah.
again, maybe
So-
this is the moment for
Yeah.
for the NXT girls to kind of
Possibly, however,
know,
I
put it over 'em.
can see NXT being protected under the guise of they've been worked to death this week,
yeah,
and
of course.
it's like they lost, but the commentators can kind of cover it kayfabe by
And maybe-
saying
yeah.
they're buggered basically.
yeah.
So I think maybe this will. What team is Charlotte in?
Raw.
Raw wins.
Easy.
I'm not gonna deny that. That's pretty good.
The men's triple threat elimination match. Team Raw, we got Rollins, McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Ricochet.
Strong team.
Versus Team SmackDown, we have Roman Reigns.
You can't hate
sorry,
him, bro.
sorry.
No, sorry. One
It
second.
was just a slip. My bad. Roman.
Do you actually like him? Bro?
Roman. What?
Do you actually like him now? Like I know you used to hate him, but do you like him now, or you don't have a?
It's
Thought about him.
I don't have a thought, to be honest. He turned me off the sport.
Okay.
When someone turns you off something, like, come on, man.
But he's become way better now. Like,
All right,
he's actually
fair
a
enough.
Great worker.
Fair enough.
He's a better talker.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? Like,
My favorite moment in the last maybe year and a half has been Roman Reigns in that John Cena promo that he did. It's called a promo, kid. You're gonna have to learn how to do one if you want to be one of the big dogs.
That was underrated.
You know, that was awesome. I love that. Anyways, let's not talk about him.
Who was
Roman Reigns, Mustafa Ali, Braun Strowman, King Corbin, and Shorty G versus TBA NXT team.
it's Mustafa Ali again.
yeah, it's Mustafa Ali. again.
Mustafa Ali.
They
again.
flipped and then they flipped back.
That Raw team very strong. Looks
Yeah,
very
man.
strong
Shorty G, seriously?
on paper.
Saying
Raw
Shorty
wins.
G? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Randy has a really good Survivor Series record.
Yeah, bro.
Really good, and I like that gimmick. It's not, and I think the reason I like it is because hit you over the head with that fact all the time. You don't always hear Randy Orton, he's always the sole survivor. You know what I mean? They don't hashtag it, and they don't drive it, and they don't hit you over the head with it. And I think it's like a cool little fact that, hey, Randy's really good at Survivor Series. Like, he always survives. He always finds a way. He's the Viper, the apex predator kind of thing. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind Randy getting. I'm enjoying Randy at this stage of his career. It's really weird. I was not the biggest Randy Orton fan, but I like this. Like, he doesn't care. Like, you can tell.
He's arrogant.
Like, he does things off mic. He says things off mic that he shouldn't. He makes facial expressions that, you know, break character a lot. Like, he
doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care. And it's cool. Care, yeah. And he just re-signed for another 5 years.
Yeah.
He said something bad.
Yeah. Oh,
whereas
other... You want to get into that?
That dope. No, but, like, I mean, again, it goes back to Randy's just, like, it's himself. You know what I mean? He's at a stage of his career where he's not going to be told what to do. He's not, you know what I mean? He's doing his thing. If he still cares about the product, they're going to let him do his thing until he doesn't care.
Usually, guys in his position, they're still title hunting. They're still, you know, chucking the words to be part of the main picture, whatever. Him is just like, man, whatever. There was, you know, the whole Lana thing that happened. He's standing in the corner having a laugh about it. That was the
and it's a real reaction.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next one.
Wait, you got Raw?
Yeah, just based off Rollins just got kicked out of the main title picture. How do you keep him strong? So you have Randy and Rollins survive. Maybe something like that.
I hope Raw...
It's hard to make a prediction because we don't know the NXT teams.
I hope Raw loses so CM Punk can give it to him again.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, champion triple threat match. We have AJ Styles, United States champion. Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental Champion, versus Roderick Strong, the North American Champion. What do you guys think?
Another good match. It's a really
very
good match. Like, triple threats are always usually great. You know what I mean? Like, there's really a point. Like, even what was that triple threat? Dolph, AJ, and Corbin, was it?
Yeah, on SmackDown.
What a match! I would
really
never watch it. Yeah, I would never watch it, but it was a great match. Yeah. But this match. I guess I can see it. I think AJ will win. I don't know if there's going to be a consequence of people losing here.
There is no consequence. That has been the issue with Survivor Series.
Yeah.
What are you fighting for?
Yeah.
What is it? What are the stakes?
Exactly.
There are none. It's bragging rights. That's it.
So,
but the thing that opens up is the potential of, like,
Roderick.
Anyone can win any match.
Yeah, Roderick could win.
Yeah, Roderick. I personally want Undisputed Era to sweep every single match they're in this weekend. Takeover and Survivor Series. Because I think that will be like hey, we just lost Ambrose. We have a new Shield. We have a new group that's going to run things. I think there are... I mean, I'm different to Zach. I do like the kind of the undersized wrestlers. But as a heel faction, I do feel like they're a bit undersized.
Yeah.
But there are 4 of them. There's quite, that's pretty, like, it's not just the 3.
And they can all wrestle. They're really good.
They're all great wrestlers. And I think I would love to see Roddy win this match. Get a win over AJ or Shinsuke.
Yeah. And it really depends again on what happens in Takeover. If Undisputed sweep the day before, all my picks are gonna get Undisputed the next day. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the big one on the pay-per-view, big one. Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan.
No contest. No contest. I don't honestly see what Daniel Bryan gains out of losing this one. I feel like this is gonna, like, he's gonna abduct him and take him somewhere. I don't know. Like, honestly, it's gonna be a blue light, by the way. I'm joking.
Is that for his? I know Sin Cara used to have that lighting for his mask. He couldn't see. Is that the same reason why the Fiend has it for him as well? Is just for effect?
I think it's just an aura.
Oh yeah.
It's better than the Worms, Brian Mania.
Yeah, they had the projector with the worms. That's the worst WWE title match I've ever seen at a WrestleMania. By the way, I would say, like, literally the worst. I've seen all of them. I haven't seen anything worse than that.
But yeah, personally, I think I see no contest written all over this.
But
Fiend's not losing.
No, he's not losing.
100%.
I got to put it like that. Fiend's not losing. If I've got my booking hat on, I want to kind of revisit the old, the 2014 Bryan and Bray rivalry, where some kind of gimmicky stuff happens, where Bryan kind of joins him, because he's lost right now. He's coming out. He's not saying yes. He's not doing the vegan thing, and he's like, I just want to fight. Like he's lost his mind, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can see Bryan being that children's TV show character as well.
Yeah.
The over the top, hey guys, this that as well,
Yeah.
you know. So it fit perfectly.
Bryan can take any gimmick, any like him and Kane. Him and Kane were an entertaining tag team. Like
Yeah.
they were genuinely funny to me, and it's like it just makes it just strikes gold every chance he gets.
He's got that Jericho thing about him where he can reinvent himself every time. That's why he's not boring.
He's
You know what I mean?
He's a chameleon, but
Yeah.
he's still able to make it his own.
Yeah,
like
of
he
course.
doesn't completely transform. He
No,
just
he doesn't.
slight tweaks, and different eras feel different.
But I reckon he can. I reckon he has the ability to completely transform, and still be entertaining. Still
Yeah.
be something fresh to watch. Like that's a problem with Roman and Seth. Yeah, them being the main guys on the roster. They're the big guys, right? They're the main guys.
Roman and Seth are
that
they're
are
the
there
heads
every
of
single week
their shows.
and carrying the shows on their back. The problem is, it's like they haven't changed for 5 years. They become stale. CM Punk said this. That's another reason why I like him there. He made a good point. When you're like exposed every single week, you become oversaturated. You become like just, oh, here we go again. Burn it down. Far out. Ooh, yeah, we get it, cuz. We get it, brother. All right. But you know what I mean? Daniel Bryan in another league, bro.
But I think when you're at the top, there's less room to do stuff like that because you are the top guy, and you have something working for you.
Because they're scared
And
to turn
people
him
see
heel,
it.
man.
That's what I'm saying. So it's there's less of a room to be like, all right, let's go in this direction.
But
Now
they're
we'll
not
Seth
Cena.
Rollins.
Cena, I get it. Yeah, Cena understood. He couldn't turn him heel. He always made fun of it. I understand Cena, but why does that rule exist now for every single big guy that makes the money? They're gonna make the same money if you turn him heel. If Roman turned heel, he'd be the most popular superstar in the company.
I've got Rollins turning heel within 6 months.
I hope so.
He needs to turn.
If Roman during that time he was if he became heel, then
You'll love him.
I'd love it. Because if he owns it, it's like, yeah, I don't deserve it, but you know what? Who cares? Like shit.
Exactly.
Because I'm gonna freaking take it. I'd love that. But the fact that still. Anyways, every time I talk about him, I get upset.
Just one point on Roman turning heel. It's the ironic part is that if he turned heel, he would get cheered.
Yeah,
So
we'd love it.
we would love it.
We'd love it.
Which would essentially make him. Which would garner him babyface reactions.
It'd achieve what they
Yeah.
want to achieve with him, right?
Yeah,
It'd get that.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, like, it's weird because the more he does the same, the more the crowd would turn on him. Now, seeing as he had that real life, the run with the cancer, and that he defeated that, and he was able to persevere and come back, and there was a real life story there. Everybody has changed their perspective towards him. I was personally.
Oh, you think it's fake?
I didn't say
Why
that.
are you laughing then, bro?
I'm not laughing.
We're not gonna
What?
touch that.
No, I'm not gonna even go there,
But,
bro.
yeah, but he won people over being himself more. His matches are a lot better than people give him credit. And the first time I noticed that this guy can actually go, it's actually pretty good, was against AJ. Now, AJ can have a match with a broom and make it look good, but this was actually like really good, and I feel like it was unappreciated up until this happened. I want to see where he is in like 2 years' time, because he's getting positive reactions that he didn't get before. It's undeniable, but I don't know where you go with him because they've successfully kept him out of the title picture for a while now. He hasn't been anywhere near the title.
It's not done for no reason.
Yeah.
They know the fans will turn again if he gets that title. But the thing about Roman, bro, if he did turn heel, then who becomes the good guy? Like, he's a perfect good guy, isn't he? As well. So if you turn him heel, who's gonna carry that on their back? I don't see anyone that has the thickest of skins like he does to take the heat, to take all that. Like, that's what he's good at.
I was saying that's the most underrated thing about Roman is the actual man himself. He was booed so badly in Philadelphia at the Rumble that they wrote about it in Time magazine. You know what I mean? Like there was hashtag cancel WWE Network trending everywhere, and he just soldiered on. He just soldiered on. Rollins is now being turned on by the wrestling community.
He's having a sook.
He's having a sook every week about it. He's saying a little comment here, saying a little comment there, talking about his bank account being big, and he's a babyface. Why are you saying that stuff?
Yeah.
You're letting it get to you.
That's
Whereas Roman never let it get to him. I respect that about him, about the man himself.
That's
you know what I mean?
exactly right.
He's got thick skin and he soldiers on, regardless of what we think of his character.
Respect him, Zach.
Like people
Respect him.
I can see why people don't like his character, but like the dude is solid. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the dude is, might be solid.
Yeah.
It's just, I think, after the whole CM Punk pipe bomb thing, it's just Roman Reigns represented everything CM Punk said was wrong with the company. You get me?
Cookie cutter, just
everything.
Another Cena.
They tried to make another Cena.
That's right.
But I feel like they've shifted that since.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still kind of a bit stale, kind of a bit repetitive. You
Yeah.
know, he's got his little catchphrase and he's got his little shirt and he's got his, it's a cookie.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but I think I have seen improvements. We'll see where he goes. But back to what was a Fiend and Brian? Yeah, it's a sweep. He's gonna either murder him or you're gonna get some kind of storyline.
He's just gonna disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the NXT title match? We don't know who the other two competitors are yet.
So it's the NXT title match is
Adam Cole versus the winners of the.
winner of a triple
Pete Dunne
threat.
versus
That's it.
Killian Dane versus Damian Priest.
Okay, so simple booking. You got a heel champion, and you got a triple threat to determine who versus him. You got two heels and a babyface. The obvious choice is the babyface wins. So you got a babyface versus heel. That'd be Pete Dunne, and I think Pete Dunne had a match with Tyler Bate. I can't remember if it was last year at Chicago or the year before in Chicago
For the title?
for the UK title.
Yeah.
And it was top 3 matches of the year. Like it was brilliant. I think, not that it really matters, but Meltzer gave it 5 stars, and I think that was the first WWE match since Punk versus Cena that he gave 5 stars or something like that.
Yep.
And Pete Dunne versus Adam Cole.
Whoa.
It's going to be a match of the year contender if it's done right. I think Adam Cole's got to retain though, but it'll be a banger. It'll be a good match.
I think Pete Dunne's going to put on a show. He's going to be he's going to be introduced to the wider audience, I guess. Some people don't know him, in the casual fans.
Definitely,
so it's pretty much a match where he can just go hard, you know what I mean, and then Cole steals a victory at the end.
Yeah, I think people that haven't seen him before will be impressed with his style, because he's just really gritty and he breaks your fingers, and he's got this UK style that's it's really good.
Yeah,
and I think if people see that, they'll be like, whoa man, this guy's crazy, and they might get sold on Pete.
Yep.
Give me a bold, crazy ass prediction from this pay-per-view.
Punk's coming back.
Comes back?
Punk comes back. It's in Chicago. They're going to be screaming CM Punk every single match. He's coming back. I don't know how. I don't know. Maybe a part of it, Team NXT. I don't know, man.
Ooh.
I don't know, bro.
He's not in any condition to wrestle.
Bro, this is a bold prediction, yeah. So, what? You going to say, what are you going to say? Shorty G is going to be the lone survivor? Stuff that.
Chad, any bold predictions?
I got 2. Triple H is a part of the NXT team.
Oh, that's good.
And something got to do. I don't know if I want to see this, but it's. Correct me if I'm wrong, Solomon. You're the historian.
Yeah.
Undertaker debuted at the 1990 Survivor Series.
Yeah, 1990.
Okay, maybe not then. All right.
What do you mean 30th anniversary?
Yeah,
but it technically is.
Does it count as the 30th?
Yeah, because he was in 1990 there, so it is it would be the 30th anniversary.
Maybe plant the seed with him and Fiend.
Ooh.
They've already gone once before, Bray Wyatt and Taker.
Not
as the Fiend.
Not this version.
Not this version.
Not this unkillable
Maybe
version.
maybe Fiend can kill him off once
That's
and for
cool.
all.
It would match this whole thing the Fiend has got going of going back, right, to all the guys that
That's right.
wronged Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
Undertaker was one of them.
John Cena was one of
John Cena's one. Daniel Bryan was one of
And
them.
don't forget Stone Cold's on after Survivor Series with Undertaker. He's done a podcast or a show or something with
That's
him.
right.
So
So,
maybe
yeah.
maybe the Fiend gets into the show and
So
and bashes
maybe.
him. I don't know, man.
maybe you got Fiend Bryan Survivor Series. You got Cena and Fiend at Rumble, and then you got Taker and Fiend at Mania. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
That'd be cool.
My bold prediction is pretty much yours, Solomon. Same thing. I think Punk comes back, but it's a bit different. I think Punk comes back during the Brock Lesnar match.
Okay.
I think he comes back at the end of it or whatever it is, and he's in the ring. He's looking at Brock Lesnar, and they both turn and look at Paul Heyman at the same time. Because, you know, they're both Paul Heyman guys, right?
Yeah.
And then Paul Heyman's looking at both of them thinking, who's my guy? Who do I go with, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like that. I don't know, something like
I'll
that.
be honest with you, he's not gonna be at the show, cause
Yeah.
he's gonna be watching it at home. It's in Chicago, and he still won't be there.
I reckon he'll only be watching it, to be honest. He'll just be sitting around doing whatever.
He'll
He'll watch the highlights. You know, YouTube, you go see like the 10-minute highlights of everything. He'll watch that. He'll comment on it. And that's it.
That's it, man.